So this is how I moved here at only 18 years old to go to college in Prague. So when I first thought about doing this, the first thing that me and my mom did was just start Googling and trying to do research on our own. And we just looked up English taught universities in Europe. And when we started to get more serious, we subscribed to this really great database called Beyond the States that has a huge listing of universities outside the US that teach in English. Next, I just applied to European universities in the same way that I would have applied to American universities, except they usually have rolling admissions, so it makes a lot less pressure with application deadlines than in the US. After that, I just started my visa process. I got an apartment here in Prague because my school didn't have housing, so I went straight into an apartment, and yeah, I just moved to Prague after that. Makes it sound really easy, I guess. So if you have more questions or anything, go ahead and ask in the comments, and I'll try to answer them in another part too. Hey, this is how I moved to Europe at only 18 years old to get my college degree in Prague, part 1. Okay, this is how I got started with all my research. So I began by just doing like basic Google searches. I looked at any free resources I could find online. I just kind of Googled English taught universities in Europe, and I looked at things like Bachelor's Portal, which is a good tool because it lists universities around the world, but be careful because universities can pay to rank higher on there. So it's a good tool, but just be careful. Next, I subscribed to Beyond the States. Once I felt like this was a real option that I was actually serious about, I subscribed to Beyond the States as a member, and I got the best fit list. Beyond the States was also great because it's a professional college counseling service, not just a research site. So it actually does way more than just tells you what university abroad is about. After doing all my research and deciding what country I wanted to live in, all I did was apply like any American university, applied for my visa, got it all together, and yay, I'm here. Hey, so this is how I moved to Europe to get my college degree, part 2. So tuition in Europe is far cheaper than in the US. I pay about $3,000 per semester, but that differs from school to school and country to country. So I got this map off of Beyond the States, and it shows the average yearly tuition in Europe. All of these like Central and like Eastern European countries are less than $5,000 a year. Norway is less than $1,000 for a year of tuition. That's nothing. I also got a lot of questions about my living expenses here. So my rent is about $250 per month, and this is the room that I get for that price. It's pretty big, plus I have a balcony. So I'm able to pay for all my living expenses with my job as an English second language teacher. In countries where English isn't the first language, people are usually willing to pay quite a bit to have a native speaker teach them English. So feel free to ask any more questions that you might have, and I'll try to address them in the next video. Hey, this is how I moved to Europe to get my college degree, part 3. So, language barriers. When I moved here, I literally did not know a single word of Czech. But honestly, so many people here speak English that it was never a problem, and I wanted to learn language, so I really put in effort just to figure it out as I went along, and it wasn't that hard. I'm still definitely not fluent. I'm very far from it, but I can get through daily life easily now. As far as making friends, I made friends the same way that anybody who goes to college makes friends. My entire university is taught in English, so every single person in my university speaks English. And for my job teaching English, the school that I teach at is a full immersion program that teaches natural language, not translation. So I never needed to know any Czech to teach there, and I still am not actually allowed to use any Czech in the classroom. I also just want to say thank you to everybody who's been so nice in the last few videos and so supportive. I can't even believe it. And if you have any more questions, please ask, and I'll try to answer it next time. Hey, this is how I moved to Europe to get my college degree, part 4. So my apologies for looking kind of insane today, but a lot of people were asking if I can get a job after I graduate back in the US, and yes, I can. My school is accredited in both the US and the EU, so I'm getting like 2 different degrees kind of. And because of that, my school has to meet 2 separate sets of standards with their level of education. So like that's why I'm required to write a thesis for my degree, and not all Americans are gonna have to do that, and why I have to take a state exam for my European side of the degree. So basically when you're applying to European universities or universities anywhere in the world, just make sure that's accredited in both the US and wherever you wanna work. And with those accreditations, you can pretty much work anywhere in the world, if I'm being honest. Also, having had this unique experience, think about how much you're going to stand out on job applications, no matter where in the world you're applying for a job. So again, just ask any questions you want in the comments, and I'll try to talk about them next time. Hey, this is how I moved to Europe to get my college degree, part 5. So a lot of people have been asking how and why I chose the school that I did. So my school is Anglo-American University in Prague, and my major or my school of study is Humanities, Society, and Culture. The reason that I chose Prague is first off, because the location, central, makes it really easy to travel Europe, and also, more importantly, is that it's affordable. Central and Eastern Europe tend to be much more affordable than Western Europe, so Prague is a lot more affordable than Paris. I initially chose AAU as my school because I really liked their journalism program. I started as a journalism student and then transferred to their Humanities, Society, and Culture program because I thought that that was a better fit for me. I was also looking at the tuition. AAU had very affordable tuition compared to America, and I really liked the class sizes at AAU. They're small and usually seminar style. So if you have more questions, please put them in the comments and I will try to answer them next time. Hey, this is how I moved to Europe to get my college degree, part 6. So I still get a lot of questions about the financial side of it, so I wanted to cover that a little bit more. So one thing that people have to understand is that it's a lot more upfront payments than it is in the US. A huge reason that I came abroad was so that I could avoid debt. So I didn't take out any loans because I did not want to have any student debt after graduating. So I don't know much about the legality of loans, but I'm pretty sure if you want to use a loan to study abroad in Europe, you can take out a personal loan, not a federal student loan. But tuition is already so affordable out here, so it kind of just comes down to like a pay now or pay later sort of thing. So I was lucky enough that my parents had set up a college fund for me when I was a kid, and after 18 years of saving up in that college fund, I had only saved up about $10,000. So I just used that money to get started with my education, and then I've been working through college ever since. So if you have any more questions, let me know in the comments and I'll try to address them next time. Hey, this is how I moved to Europe to get my college degree, part 7. So guys, I'm super excited making this video because this time, I actually did a thing. So a lot of people have been asking where they can do additional research on how to go to school abroad because frankly, some girl from TikTok should not be your only source of information. And so I'm sure you know I've been recommending this website Beyond the States since literally part 1 of this series because they actually can give you professional advice. So when I was in the same position as you guys, I tried finding information online, couldn't really find anything, tried Googling, tried talking to my school counselor, he was no help, and then my mom found Beyond the States. But they're a small business and their service isn't free. But I know a lot of you guys were also worried about the cost, so I reached out to them and asked what they could do. They really wanted to help you guys, so they decided that they would give you 50% off your first month of membership and 20% off anything else that they offer. So this is just some of the things that they offer with the membership, and I really, really hope this helps you guys because I can't even tell you how much it helped me. Hey, this is how I moved to Europe to get my college degree, part 8. So I've been getting a lot of questions about housing and roommates and apartments and all that. So the housing situation totally depends on the school that you're going to. It totally changes country to country, school to school. It's never really the same out here. My school didn't have housing when I first started, but then they got housing this year actually, and I have some friends that stayed there and they enjoyed it, and it's actually at a really nice dorm in the city. I stayed at a dorm that wasn't affiliated with the school, but I still stayed in a dorm for my first semester. What I did and what I personally recommend doing is staying in a dorm your first semester, either with a random roommate or in a single dorm, and then your second semester getting an apartment with friends. Looking back, I actually am really happy that I ended up moving into an apartment at like 18 years old my second semester. I was not loving dorm life and it was nice to just actually be in an adult home. So if you have any more questions, let me know in the comments.